Good afternoon. Buongiorno. Bonjour. Buenos dias. Ni hao. Privet. Barev. Moody Boanji. And Diaguit. This is Tom Mullen from Bordeaux. We have Vino Voices Live. We have 30 minutes today. We have an amazing episode today. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the Crus Bourgeois wines of the Médoc in Bordeaux. And I'm not going to speak much about them, but we're going to have a very, very knowledgeable person. We have the vice president of Crus Bourgeois du Médoc is going to speak with us today, Armelle Cruse. We're very fortunate. So let me give you a little bit of background just for a few minutes before we get Armelle online and talking. In 1855, there was a Exhibition Universelle du Paris, okay? And Emperor Napoleon III, he said, we're going to have all these wines from Bordeaux, but we want to be able to differentiate them. What are the good ones? What are the bad ones? So we worked together with the Bordeaux Chamber of Commerce. They worked with négociants, which are merchants, and growers. They spent 2 weeks, and they came up with a classification system. Classification system of 1855. They took into account the classification system of 1740. They probably took into account Thomas Jefferson's classification in 1787. He was in Bordeaux. He was a wine aficionado. And they broke down the wines into 5 different levels. And the classification system has not changed except for 2 events in 165 years. So in 1856, they added 1 chateau they'd forgotten about. And in 1973, they moved Chateau Mouton Rothschild from second growth, second tier, to first tier. Beside that, the classification stays the same. And so these other wine growers in Bordeaux said, okay, we weren't producing grapes that year, or we didn't exist then, or we have improved our quality since then. We want to be classified also. So in 1932, the state created the Crus Bourgeois classification. And that is for excellent wines in Bordeaux, which are not classified as of the 1855 Grand Cru Classé or Cru Classé classification. So Crus Bourgeois is the classification of other excellent, great quality wines, okay? It's changed a little bit in 2003 they changed it, 2007 they had a court case, they annulled it, 2010 they decided to give it to the bottles instead of the chateau. In 2020, this year, in February of this year, they came up with a new classification system, and that's what we're going to talk about. The Crus Bourgeois, because not only does it take into account the quality of the wine through blind tasting, but also some environmental and technical and agricultural factors. So before we speak to Armelle, we're going to taste a few wines, and we always start off with one that is a little bit of an outlier. So instead of tasting the Crus Bourgeois, and I have 5 reds, we're going to start off with an Entrée de Mer 100% Sauvignon Blanc from Chateau Laurence. Okay. Chateau Laurence, 100% Sauvignon Blanc. And I think this is Philippe Nunes is the winemaker, Entrée de Mer. And we're doing this just to open up the palate and wake ourselves up and say, it's Friday afternoon, let's get ready. Okay, so that's amazing nose. What we have is, usually Sauvignon Blanc, you'd think of grapefruits, but this is melons and apricots, more like a Semillon. Nice and rounded. Okay. Oh, Friday is alive. I'm loving that. Now we're going to taste 2 more, very briefly, very quickly. And then, this is a Crus Bourgeois from the Médoc, Chateau Blanam. I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sure. And this is owned by C.A. Grand Cruse. They're a large corporation, a company. They also own Crédit Agricole, which is where I do my banking. And they own many fine chateaus in the Médoc. And this is a 54-46 blend, 54% of Cabernet Sauvignon, 46% Merlot. So let's have a little. Oh, so this you've got the blackberries, you've got the cherries, classic 2019, because all these are 2019 echantillons, all from 2019, most recent harvest. Beautiful, elegant tannins, nice. Really fresh and round. Gorgeous wine. Okay, one more. Chateau Lafite Carcasse of Saint-Estèphe. And as you know, Saint-Estèphe is one of the municipalities in the Médoc. We have Saint-Estèphe, Saint-Julien, we have Pauillac, Listrac, Médoc, and others. Okay, so this was named after Philippe Carcassette, was the prosecutor for King Louis XVI in the 1700s. So that's what they named the chateau after. So let's taste this. And then we're going to speak to not only not only is Armelle the vice president, but she and her two sisters also own Chateau du Taillon, excellent chateau in the Médoc. Okay, so now we're having the Chateau Lafite Carcassette. Again, you get a little bit of brownies, blackberries, mocha, structured, robust. This is going to age well. A little bit of licorice in the taste also. Beautiful wine. Okay, now I'm going to say hello to a few friends, and then we're going to hook up with Armelle. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, there we have Armelle, but before I hook you up, Armelle, I just want to say hello to Clarissa Jane Marlene, Ariane, okay. Thomas Marchand, welcome Thomas, nice to have you here. And Elena from Zurich, Switzerland, nice to have you here also. And Chateau Moulin Rouge, and Jeremy, fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to hook up with Armelle. So we're just waiting to connect. Waiting for Crus Bourgeois, Médoc. Anyway, 77 degrees, 25 degrees Celsius here today. Bonjour, Armelle. Bonjour, Armelle. Comment allez-vous? Oh, the connection a little shaky. Comment allez-vous? Armelle, can you hear me? Oh, you might be in your cellar. Comment allez-vous? Ça va bien? Okay. Connection is not too good, but maybe you'll have to walk out into the sunshine. Can you hear me okay?
Just a sec.
Ah, very good.
Yes, I go outside.
Ah, okay. Now we see you.
Can you hear me?
Fantastic. How are you?
Okay.
Great.
Good. Fine.
Oh, okay. So,
Thank
Armelle, I have seen a video of your chateau, and it's very beautiful. Beautiful vines, gorgeous cellar, lovely structure. Yes? And you are the fourth generation winemaker at Chateau du Taillon.
Exactly.
And you also have a very, very important position with vice president of Crus Bourgeois, Médoc. And if you could tell us a little bit about that, that would be great.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very much involved in the Crus Bourgeois du Médoc, and so I'm a member of the board and the vice president. I'm taking care mostly of the promotion, because you know we are a big family, and the Crus Bourgeois, we are 249.
249.
Crus Bourgeois, yes, and so you know we need to be organized to do many things for our promotion. As you said, we do exist since the first classification was in 1932, but we need to exist and to show that we are the modern part of Bordeaux, if I can say, always involved in new things, new projects.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about how the classification of this year, 2020, how it differs from before and what makes it newer and exciting.
So the last classification was done in last February 2020. And, you know, as we are 249, it was important to clarify, and we all come from the Médoc. All the wineries are in the Médoc region, the left bank of Bordeaux. And for the consumer, it was important to clarify the offer. And so we do this clarification through a sticker that you have on the label, and the consumer will be able to recognize what kind of Crus Bourgeois we are, as there are 3 levels of Crus Bourgeois: Crus Bourgeois, Crus Bourgeois Supérieur, and Crus Bourgeois Exceptionnel.
Okay, so 3 levels, very important: Crus Crus Bourgeois Superior and Crus Bourgeois Exceptionnel.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And how many of the 249, about how many of them are classified as exceptionnel?
We are 14
14.
on
Okay.
this.
All right.
Yes.
And to
Yes.
be classified, first of all, an independent body tastes your wine, but also
Exactly.
it takes into factors such as environmental impact and promotion. Is this true?
It is true, you know everything. Yes. The first was that the tasting was done blind
Mm-hmm.
through 5 vintages. That's important because it was a way to, to know about the style of the winery. Sometimes when you have only one vintage, it's not easy to see the style of the vinification,
Right.
the style of the wine,
Right.
and the capacity of the wine to age through the years,
Okay.
because you know that as a Médoc wine, we are supposed to produce wine which are able to age in bottle.
Sure.
Then we have to be involved in the protection of the environment, and to be Crus Bourgeois Superior and Crus Bourgeois Exceptional,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be certified high value environmental level 3. So you
Okay.
have really to be involved in that, and that's important.
Okay.
Then the notoriety of the wine, the distribution, the way we run the our vineyard, the philosophy of the promotion, and the way we participate to the family promotion. That's important.
Okay.
The way we are involved in our family of Crus Bourgeois, because we want to be all very united for that.
Okay. So also, when it comes to the independent tasting body, are they based in Bordeaux or are they based in throughout France?
The tastings,
Yes.
they are based in Bordeaux, but they are done by tasters which are not from the Médoc region,
Okay.
and which don't have any connection with the Médoc, with the wineries.
Okay.
It's really, the people, they don't know what they taste,
Right.
and they don't know the results of the tasting. It means that the people which have been chosen, you have 2 commissions of 5 tasters, so 10 persons are tasting the same range of wine, because for each winery you have 5, as I told you, 5 years
Okay.
of the same winery, and they give a note, and the other commission retaste it, and so they don't recognize the winery, and they don't know the results of what they do. They are really, it's very well organized
Okay.
by an independent board,
Okay.
who is Bureau QB verification, which is an independent board that take care of all the systems.
Sure. Okay. So those of you who just joined us, I'm speaking to Armelle Cruse, not only owner of Chateau de Taillon in the Médoc, left bank of Bordeaux, but vice president of Crus Bourgeois du Médoc. And there are 249 wines under this classification system. And are you actively trying to promote Crus Bourgeois wines in, say, other countries such as the United States?
Oh yes, we come every year to the United States.
Okay.
We were there last March for Vinexpo, New York Vinexpo,
Okay.
and we do, yes, that's part of our promotion. We do a travel of a group of winemaker.
Mm-hmm.
We come to the United States every year to make promotion, to meet people and everything, to organize tasting. Last year, but this year it was quite unusual, because it was just before everything was closed in France, but we have done that. Yes, United States is an important market for us, because most of the Crus Bourgeois, at least more than 50% of us, have a distribution in the United States.
Okay. I just want to, hello, Leslie Sparocco. Leslie is quite a well-known television personality with wine and food in the United States. And she just wrote a message and she said, best value on the market. So I think that's a great compliment to what
Yes.
you're doing. And how often will the classification be changed, or how often does the classification occur?
So we are classified for 5 years,
Okay.
which is very important because it let us have a policy of distribution according to our distributor. You know, they know if they work with us, they will have 5 years to distribute our wine without problem, without having the same classification. But then for us, it maintains us on sort of pressure. We have to stay at the same level.
Right.
So, you know, you are not like the classification of 1855, that when you are classified forever. For us, we know that we will be judged
Right.
in 5 years, which is good because you have some people who have missed the step in 2020, and maybe they won't miss the step until 25. So
Right.
it helps everybody to improve their wine and their investment and everything. It's a good challenge, and it's really the image that we have, always in movement.
Don't worry. Don't worry. This is a lockdown interview. It's great, huh? Don't worry.
Okay.
But
Story.
tell us a little bit about. We'll go back to Crus Bourgeois, but tell us a little bit about your chateau, Chateau de Taillon. It's you've been in the family for 4 generations. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and we are 5 owners at the moment at the Chateau de Taillon, and we are the 4th generation.
Right.
It went from father to son since 1896 until our generation, where we are 5 girls owners.
Okay.
And so I've got 4 sisters, and we are very much involved in this winery, as we are lucky. It's a very beautiful chateau, and we have done a lot of investment, and we are doing, for example, investment in vinification, in vineyard, and in wine and tourism too.
Fantastic.
We are open to the visit because there is a chateau of the 18th century, and so it's very helpful for the communication.
And that's another point is, do you think that a lot of the members of Crus Bourgeois are beginning to expand into eno-tourism? Is that growing?
Yes, it's growing in Bordeaux in general, and it's very much growing in the Crus Bourgeois, as we do push the member of our family to open their winery to the wine and tourism. You know, it's a way for us to communicate, to sell our wine. And when you have an American coming to Bordeaux who buys our wine in New York or Boston or somewhere else, when he comes to Bordeaux, it's a service that we have to give to the people when they come to us to receive us, to receive them. So it's coming. Yes, nowadays we say that you have a Crus Bourgeois every day, which is open, or every day of the year. You can visit a Crus Bourgeois of the Médoc. So
also, if any of my friends or viewers were interested in buying wines from Crus Bourgeois, do they have to go to these different chateaux, or does your organization organize sales for the Crus Bourgeois?
Our organization is not done for the sales. We don't organize sales, we organize promotion.
Promotion.
We want to go to buy a Crus Bourgeois. We have the classic distribution through importers, through negotiation. Some are borderless negotiation, some direct to some American importers. So the distribution is different from one to another.
Okay. Well, what you're doing is very important, and I think it's great that it's a brand new updated classification system in February 20th of this year. So you're involved with it now. Will you continue being involved for the future years?
Oh yes, I will continue to be involved. I've been with the board of the Crus Bourgeois for many years already, and I think it's important to move and to keep the people really staying in movement in our family. It's not always easy because especially at the moment, I think at the moment we have to move forward much more because we didn't have the time to fest. I don't know if it's English, but to fest the classification because it happened just before everything was closed. So we will do something we have 5 years to promote the classification and to do a lot of promotion on that and to make the fiesta on that.
That's great. So, Armelle, for you, what is the biggest satisfaction of having put together the new classification system?
The best satisfaction
For you.
For me,
Yes.
oh, it's just to have achieved the level of the Château du Taillan,
Okay.
because you know it's the result of a very of 20 years of work.
Yeah.
Because here it's a family place here in Château du Taillan, and in families place it's different. Like when wineries who belong to a group, things go slowly but surely. We need patience, you know, because the investment is of a family is not as heavy and as long, not heavy and short like a group who can come and put a lot of dollars,
Yeah.
and then you move everything in the winery. So here it has been step by step for years and years that we have improved the quality of Château du Taillan and the distribution, and worked very hard on everything. So that's really I couldn't espérer.
You couldn't have
more.
wished for, yeah?
Yeah, wish more, because the Château du Taillan is a Crus Bourgeois exceptionnel.
That's right. Exceptional.
So I belong to the 14th.
So after lockdown, you know, we can move, after Monday, we can move up to 100 kilometers instead of 1. So in the next months, I may have to stop by.
Oh, great. With pleasure.
Okay.
I'd be glad to make you taste my wine and everything.
Great.
And to talk about the wine.
I appreciate
It's a
that.
passion.
Okay.
It's a passion, the wine, you know.
Armelle, thank you so very much for coming today. We are honored to have the vice president of the Crus Bourgeois de Médoc. You explained things very well, and I think your promotion will continue for the next 2 years. And as Leslie said, and as I can attest from drinking these wines, fantastic value. So thank you very much.
Thank you very
much
for having me.
Okay, have a great weekend.
Yes, right. You too. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful woman. And her name, Armelle Cruse. Isn't that a great name? Oh, my goodness. But they had to work five years to create this new classification system. It's taken quite a bit of effort. So we're going to go, we have 3 more wines we're going to taste, so we'll take our time. We have time enough. Beautiful weather. And Monday is the end of 2 months of serious confinement. We have only been allowed to go 1 kilometer from our home, generally. And every time I go out, I showed this before, I have to fill out this piece of paper and tells why I'm going. And as of Monday, no more of those papers. And I'm going to go for a long 20-mile bike ride. Have a picnic afterwards, baguette, cheese, saucisson, bottle of wine. It'll be great. Okay, the next one, Chateau Péridon, La Gravette. And this is a Crus Bourgeois. Chateau Péridon, La Gravette. And after I take a sip of this, I'm going to go through and say hello to some of our viewers. And thank you all for joining. It's a Friday. I hope you all have your wine ready also. So this is a 6337 Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot. And the chateau here is located on gravel soils. So gravel drains very well, which is the reason for the preponderance of the Cabernet Sauvignon here. So I'm expecting some more structure on this than the previous one. Beautiful aromas. It's almost a little bit of cinnamon and blackberry. Amazingly delicate. For a Cabernet Sauvignon dominant Bordeaux blend, amazingly delicate. Fantastic. Okay, so let's see who else we have here. Just say hello to a few people. Laura, hello, Laura. We have Heather and Brandt. Sandra from Valencia. Laura, okay. Ariane, Ellie, okay. Jeremy, and Ellen is still here. Okay. So the next one we're going to have, and someone asked something. Show the bottles, please. Okay. I'll show them all again at the end, okay? The next one, Chateau La Rose Pergonçon. This is a Crus Bourgeois Superior, okay? So that is one level up from Haut Médoc. Chateau La Rose And I realize it's backwards. It is. This is part of the game with the live stream on Instagram. Okay, so this is usually a 50-50 Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot. Might be 56-44, depending on the vintage. I'm not sure exactly what the 2019 is. Yeah, those are very robust. You get some black cherries there. Ooh, yeah. So a very almost wispy. Hold on. Let's have a little taste of this. Amazing acidity. It's almost like a little ring of orange rinds going through it. Beautiful. Oh, this was going to age well too. That will age 20, 30 years without a doubt. Okay, so let's do our final wine. We are doing so well with time here. Chateau Charmel. Now this one, the previous one, in 1963, the viticulturist Émile Peynaud, very famous, he was their enologist. This is Chateau Charmel, and this, as you can see, is a Crus Bourgeois exceptionnel. So this is, of the Crus Bourgeois, it is of the highest category. Remember, there are 249 wineries under Crus Bourgeois, and 14 of them are exceptionnel. One of them belonged to Armelle, Chateau de Taillon, and the other one is this one, Chateau Charmel. This is from a family, and I think it was the 1700s. Okay, let's see, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so this has got some complexity on the nose. Okay, so yeah, it's almost like red fruit, a little bit of almost like strawberries and black currants also. Ooh, this one's delicate. I like this. Oh yeah, I think I may have to keep this bottle for myself. This is a beauty. Really light and wispy. Got some almost like blueberries and mocha, and almost little mint chips in there. It's fantastic. So Crus Bourgeois. 2 minutes to go. Let's see if we have any questions. Hello, Martin and Nina. Show the bottles, please. Okay, Jane, I'm going to show them again. We have the Sauvignon Blanc, Chateau Laurence, and that's from Entrée de Mer. We have Chateau Blegnon, and that is the Crus Bourgeois from Médoc. We have the Lafite Carcassette, okay, Saint-Estèphe. We have the Chateau Péridon, and the others I've just shown, La Gravette. The others I've just shown. Okay. Have any questions? Tatiana joined. Clarissa says, don't even think about not sharing with us. This is not getting anywhere near you, that final bottle, I'll tell you that. Okay, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining, and have a great weekend. This is the end of lockdown, severe lockdown for us. Happy Friday, and have a great weekend. Take care. And remember, check out my website, Vino Voices. And next week, I'll probably do something about food and language. I'll let you know, okay? Thanks for tuning in. Bon soirée.